So for now I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. This is the tension arm here. Hold on, let me get a light. It's pretty dull. But yeah, I'm gonna take that tension arm off and I'm gonna use that and the factory bushings. So I'm gonna take this arm off. Oh, let's see. Oh, my bad. I'm trying to hold the light in the camera. So I'm gonna take this arm off here, and then I'm probably gonna cut it right here with an angle grinder. And I'm gonna use this whole back piece, and then there's another bushing on the other side. I'm gonna use these factory bushings for a mount for these tension arms I got here. I mean, not tension arms, control arms I got here. Here's the control arm, and then here's part of that tension arm. But yeah, I'm gonna use that tension arm from the factory car, that one I was just showing you, out of there. I'm gonna drill this hole here the size of that, and that's gonna be the anchor for the tension arm. Kind of like yay. And the bar is gonna be going to there. I got a bar in here and all the other stuff and all the bolts and hardware and drills. I got a little crappy 150 amp or 170 amp welder. I'm just gonna tack weld it together. I don't have any gas, so I'm just gonna tack weld the control arms together for now, and then bring them to my buddy Paul tomorrow. Maybe show you guys his 240. He has a SR swap that's like kind of built S13. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on taking these this setup apart now. I got the tension arm and everything, all of that stuff down here for this hub, all taken apart. Not taken apart, but taken off. Just this bottom control arm's held on by one bolt, but you can see that that's where the factory tension arm went, and it came out to, and it bolts up to right here, these top two bolts of this. That's where your lower ball joint is bolted up to, and what your whole hub and everything, that keeps it all together. So like that arm went all the way out to the bottom of the lower ball joint there. So see, this is the design that Alex Grimm or Graham or whatever, he gave me a few pointers a while ago on what to do and what to look out for it. But yeah, so the whole idea behind getting steering angle is to move this bar out. So this bar right here is actually 2 inches longer than factory. This right here is the factory tension arm, OEM tension arm. And you see, normally it goes all the way out to right there, and it bolts up with the rest of the setup like I was just showing you. And then this goes all the way to there, but the problem with that is when you're turning your wheel to get more steering angle, your wheel hits right here. Sorry if the camera angle is all blown out. I got the selfie stick all retarded. I don't know if you guys saw any of that, but anyways, this is the factory tension rod, and this is the setup that I'm going to use. So basically these are 1 3/4 or 2 inches. I don't remember, I did the measurements a while ago. I'm pretty sure they're 2 inches longer than normal. But anyways, this is how it was supposed to go, like bolt to the chassis right here, then go all the way up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just cut this tension arm right here and use this bolt and the factory bushings and everything like that there. And then I'm going to basically bolt this tension arm to that joint there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that cut and finish drilling out this hole here. Right now I'm drilling this hole out. Bunch of different drill bits, Harbor Freight coming in clutch with the drill bits. And then this is going to bolt to the chassis, and once it's up there I'm going to use that welder and tack weld it in right here pretty good, and then I'm going to take it to my buddy tomorrow and get it welded up. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up this. Well, I got everything all tack welded up, and then I made a big video on it and everything, and then I realized that after I watched the video it was too dark in here, so I just grabbed a little headlamp, and I'm going to just kind of talk through how I kind of tack welded it up in there, because obviously I can't go do it again. But I got both of the control arms here. I'll show you them in a second. Here is this in here. See, this is the design I was talking about when I was saying I'm going to use the factory hold on one second, let me turn this mount. You see that there's the factory bushings and the factory bolt that goes all the way through for the tension arm. Here's the tension arm right here, the factory tension arm. It used to go right into there, so basically all I did was cut the very end off, but I left a little lip on it right there, just enough to clear for the heim joint that goes right here, and then enough to hold this in there. So that's all bolted up and tight right now. So what I did for finding the angle, see how the control arm goes straight out? It basically goes straight across all the way. So I just copied that same design, used the same angles of that control arm over there. So I'll set my control arm up here. Hopefully this headlight will show you guys enough lighting here. But here's the control arm here. So there's going to be a bolt that goes up and in through there to hold in there. And there's going to be a bolt that bolts into the factory spot, like so. But the heim joints obviously aren't going to be facing like that. They're going to be facing the hole. So a bolt will go through there. And then you'll get your 4 nuts and bolts that go through the top and then bolt into the lower ball joint there. And then I put it all up in there, and after I held it in the angle, I just tack welded it in and pulled it out, and then tack welded the heim joint in place. And then my buddy Paul said he's down to do the stuff for me today, but he said 20 bucks for some gas for a refill for his tank. He said he would do it for free, but he's out of gas. So my cousin, he works at a shop. I'm gonna go over there, bring my control arms to him, and then have him weld it up for free. I might go over to go show my buddy Paul the setup, and maybe show you guys this 240. I don't know if he's gonna be down to let me show it or not, because it's not completely finished, but I'm about to go get these welded up. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to record though, because he's gonna be keeping it like kind of on the down low. So I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna ask him, and you might see, you might not, you'll see in like 5 seconds. Just got them all welded up from my cousin Steven here. I forgot what this place is called. It's like a giant concrete steel yard. They just like send all this stuff out for like big construction companies and stuff like that, I guess. But yeah, there they are. There they look pretty freaking badass. He did pretty decent. He didn't charge me nothing. He just said bring your car by when it's done, so he can check it out. But I think I'm gonna go check out my buddy Paul. He said he's gonna be working on his 240, the guy who's been talking about. Said his name about 150,000 times. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and head over that way. Probably show you guys a little bit of his car, and then maybe start putting these control arms in to see how much angle I'm gonna be able to take. Well, I just came back from my buddy Paul's house. I didn't get to show you guys his S13. We were just catching up. It's been a while since I've been over there. So I just moved back from Cali a couple months ago, so I haven't seen a lot of my friends. So I was catching up with him for a while. But anyways, he got a S13 in a trade, and it came with these little cheap eBay looking flares. They're really thin, built really flimsy, but luckily this is hand laid fiberglass underneath, so somebody makes these in the garage or somewhere. And what I do for a living is I build commercial fishing boats out of fiberglass, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw a layer underneath that, layer of fiberglass underneath that, fresh coat, beef them up a little bit, and then yeah, I'm probably gonna put those on the fronts here. I have some flares in the back there I showed you guys for the front here, but these ones here are a lot better shape. They look more aggressive than the ones I have. They would match the back flares a lot more. And then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys these control arms here up close. So he did pretty good job. Like, this is probably the worst one here that he did, and it's not even that bad, but he did a good job on the brace here for the control arm. This is the control arm section here, and then this is the tension arm, and that's basically how they would go on if you just slid them back and bolted them to the car. And then that's the factory setup right there. I'll set it up. I should set it up right side by side. Show you guys the. Oh yeah, there it is right there. There's the design. Right there, that's the factory setup. I'll set them next to the other side, actually. Oh, sorry, I'm a little stoned right now, so. See the tension arm difference? This is they're gonna bolt to the same. That's the same control arm there, but I mean, they're not lined up perfectly. Like, this was supposed to be right there. But yeah, you can see I eliminated the tension arm basically, so you can get a lot more clearance at lock. Full steering lock there. I'll show you guys the bottom side. So the bottom of these here, you can see I cut the tube, had the tube notched, so it'd get a lot more surface in there, just enough so I can get those two bolts on the sides in to clear, so I can fit a bolt in there, and then I had them welded up. I didn't weld it up. I wish I could weld good enough for this. I just seen other people do it, and I knew I could come up with a design. But yeah, big shout out to Alex Grimm for the pointers. He didn't really give me too much info on it. He didn't really want to give me the specs on his setup, so hopefully these work. I didn't get to test them out yet. I don't know. It looked like on his mounts he brought the tension arm, like the bottom of the tension arms right here. He probably would bring his out to here on the first design that I seen, and then after that he kind of stopped sharing, and he was the only person I've ever really seen go with any kind of like drip spec design like this. So I got the control arms and everything all finished up. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt them up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and throw a set of wheels on there and compare the factory setup versus my setup. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this bolted up and then show you guys what's up. I lied. I decided that it was time to throw a little paint on them so they didn't get rusty, because I know that it was all bare metal. So I just had some old spray paint cans, couple. These were the only 3 colors I had. So thought I'd pray with it. Yeah, I'm just gonna let these sit for like 30 minutes and go install it. Got it all bolted up down there, so I'll show you guys. It's in. There it is. That's about as much angle as I'm gonna get. I'm probably gonna set it up to where it's just about this. Cut the knuckles to where it fits pretty good. And this is the stock side here. Tires are hitting the tension arm. See, it's pretty big difference. But anyways, that's it for this video. I'm sorry, my GoPro's all blown up. But yeah, that's it for this video, and I think next video I'm gonna talk about my body kit here and what my plans are. But see you guys in the next video. Well, I wanted to ask you guys if you guys think I should start manufacturing these things if they work out good. Do you guys want me to sell them, or should I just keep this shit to myself? Is it too sketchy and not really well thought out for you guys, or should I start trying to put a few kits together and get the knuckles and everything all set up and cut for everyone and ready to be shipped off, or if I should just do on my own, you know? But yeah, so just let me know.